coming. Anyway, I guess we could kind of meld it real quick. We could do a real quick new shit. We saw Inside Out 2 this
We
weekend.
did see Inside Out.
What is that?
Okay, let's clear it all out. It's demo day!
Out too. That was a good movie.
It is very good. I really liked it. I don't know. I don't know if I could say I like it better than the first one. Do you like it better than the first one, or is it the same?
I
It feels like
don't.
the same. It's
I think I like it the same. To me, it's just a continuation of the first one. So everything that I like about it, it can only run because the first one built the world.
yeah, and also it's just doing different things, right? This one's funny. This
It's
one's like
yeah.
it's so funny. Like I was crying during it test. I had tears in my eyes. I was crying so hard.
I
was
mean,
laughing so
he was
hard.
laughing pretty. He was laughing pretty
Oh my
hard.
god, it was like a gut. Oh, it's so funny. Like I don't want to like I guess spoilers for this movie that's been out for a few weeks, but the her childhood show character who angers like, who are
Yeah,
you
the
talking
dog.
to? And it's
He's
like
talking, and
he's
then
just talking
it's
to
the
a
camera,
wall.
camera pans, and he's talking to a wall.
He's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
talking to a wall. And my other favorite is the fighting game character who has a sword, who doesn't use the sword, he just turns into a ball.
And he's in the
So
secret
fucking
vault.
funny.
He's in the secret vault because he's her favorite, even though he had like his powers are terrible, which is
Yeah, which
hilarious.
is hilarious. Oh, it was so funny. And yeah, man, it definitely still gets
The
you in the places it's in.
representation of anxiety is I think very
Oh,
accurate.
very good. Yeah.
Um,
Like panic attack. Yeah, man, it's really like
oh,
experiencing every
it's
emotion at once. That's really what it's like.
an overload. It's an
Yeah.
overload. Oh, and it's just, yeah, they do a really good job, and it's a really good movie. And I also in terms of theater going experiences for the past little while, it was a good one. We didn't have a bunch of people talking and being obnoxious.
I
It was
mean, to be
very
fair,
nice.
we went to a kids movie a week late, and we sat in the
You
best,
know,
objectively the best seat. Okay. Spur of the moment from here.
the hot tip.
Hot tip. The best. I can't speak for American theaters, but certainly Canadian Cineplex ones. The best, objectively best place to sit in the theater now, back corner. Objectively,
Because you
it doesn't matter which
because if
side.
you're
It can be the left or the right
especially
side, but it doesn't.
especially
But
if you're on the if you're on the inside, then you don't have anyone on your right, you don't have anyone behind you, you usually, depending on the movie, don't have anyone in front of you because they haven't been that busy, and
yeah,
the only person that's beside you on your left is like me. It's Justin. It's the person I went with,
yeah,
and if he's too
yeah,
loud, I just
exactly.
elbow him.
Yeah, and then for me, it's like yeah, it's just the aisle, and then yeah, the person across from me, like when we did this the first time, she was on her phone the whole time, but the lights from the aisle like sort of like obscure it a little bit, so it's not quite as obnoxious. It's still obnoxious, but it's less obnoxious.
And you're just far away from
Yeah,
people.
and also in our theaters, like you get all this extra leg room. It's really sweet. So yeah, from now
Yeah,
on,
that too.
back corner, and honestly, I'm pretty sure it would go for the other corner as well. I think would be equally good.
I think so.
So
Might be better. We haven't tried it.
I've been kind of kind of stalling because I pulled this article that says what emotions didn't make it into Inside Out, and I've been kind of trying to on the sly, not very well.
I saw an interview where the creators were like they wanted to make jealousy, and jealousy would have been a twin of envy, and no one would be able to tell them apart, and that would be the joke.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't this now that I've read it a bit more thoroughly. It said shame and guilt,
Oh, there was
shame and
guilt.
guilt.
Yeah, that I had heard those two. There was one other one that he said in that interview, which I can't remember, but the jealousy one was the one that was that stuck out to me.
But shame and guilt. See, to me, and this is my number. My I only really have
To
one
me,
criticism,
shame,
and ennui just didn't
shame,
work for me. That was my one thing.
shame,
Ennui did not work.
shame would kind of to me just be the same as embarrassment, though.
But it could be a more expressive version of
And yeah,
embarrassment.
I agree. I hate ennui. I think it's the worst.
I'm just looking for an emotion to swap out for ennui because I just don't think ennui works. Not for me. Maybe I don't know. What was interesting though is they reportedly brought in like teenage girls to like critique it. So maybe teenage girls or teenagers are like, yeah, ennui. We experience ennui. Like, okay.
Okay.
Um,
But I doubt they call it ennui.
no,
I guarantee you the emotion those
again,
teenage girls call it is apathy.
it just feels like ennui exists purely to facilitate the gag about the sarcasm. Just make
No,
ennui sarcasm. Sarcasm is kind of an emotion.
Ennui exists so they can make him French.
Yes, but I mean,
Otherwise they would have just called him apathy or boredom.
right, but even then, that character has a function. I still think even if you change it to boredom or apathy, it's still equally as vague and nebulous. Like when he takes over,
No.
it's just it doesn't. To me, it's the same. It's the same effective. Like it's just a synonym. Like I think a whole different. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't think just sarcasm. I think just blanket sarcasm. If you wanted to do sarcasm, have sarcasm be one of the emotions. Because I don't know. I don't know that boredom.
But
Is
sarcasm isn't an emotion.
but neither is boredom.
I mean, boredom is a state of a
It's
being,
exactly
which would be the same as joy. You can be joyful.
right, but you can be sarcastic.
No, but that's not an emotion.
I mean, to me, it's equally as much of
That's
emotion as boredom is
I don't
as
agree.
a concept, and also
I don't.
and how
I
they
don't agree with
conveyed in the
that.
movie. I just don't think it conveyed well. They
I
again,
don't. We need to
it's
state here.
functionality in the movie.
I don't disagree. I hate ennui. I think it's the weakest character that they introduced.
It's too
We're
vague of a
we
concept.
we agree. And that's kind of the point.
Like it's like embarrassment and anxiety were so. I
think
don't
it-
know. It just
I think
didn't work for me.
it bothers me because, like, okay, in the first one you have the basic ones, which any kid gets, and then the second one is kind of she's getting older, but like anxiety is a thing that's talked about nowadays, so kids would have at least heard
Yeah.
of it. Who I didn't even know what ennui was until I had to look it up.
The funniest.
No child or teenage girl at that like 13
I don't
is
think
gonna
they
know what
would.
ennui is.
I don't think they would. And like there's a lot of adults who didn't like I saw so many videos when this came out of people who didn't know how to pronounce ennui. Like
Yeah, no, they like the creators had to come out and explain what it was because
Yeah.
nobody knows what ennui is, which is what makes it a stupid emotion to choose. There's better and more interesting things, especially for a 13-year-old teenage girl
yeah.
that you could have chosen.
Um um sorry, I thought I was gonna nope. Other than when they make the third one, adult Riley. That's the next step. That's next. For me. I've already said it. 18. Like she's just graduated high school because these movies for Riley's story seem to be about transitional moments in her life. So this one is start of high school. So to me, logically, just makes sense. Like start of university, start of college. Like she's unsure about which direction she's gonna take her life. Like to me, when you become an adult and make it about the transition of the joy and then how do they become the adult emotions, like how does that because that seems to be what this movie was kind of about in a way.
And yeah, we talked about this after the movie, and I yes, I think they could do that, but I also I could see them doing I could see them doing a third one where she's 16 and then a fourth one where she's 18.
Sure. But this feels like the kind of movie that's going to be like the kind of franchise that's like, we better not risk the assumption that we're going to get a fourth one. Let's just put it all in the third one. And I feel like this feels like that's the one where that. And I just don't.
I feel like if
story
Disney,
do you tell with her at 16?
If Disney was a more hands-off kind of thing, then I would agree. But I could see Disney pushing for 4 movies. This movie does well enough. As for what they would do, you would do this. She gets her license. She thinks that she is hot shit. And doesn't wants to be viewed as an adult, but she's not an adult. Like it's a typical. You do exactly what you do exactly what you think you do with a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, but again, all the stuff that would be interesting to tell about being 16, Disney would be too afraid to do. Yeah, I guess you could make it about her getting and being about transitional, but this has always been like the first one was her as a child, second one was her as a teenager. So it just kind of makes more sense to me that the third one would be about. And also, I saw a lot of comparisons to Toy Story, and that's where Toy Story 3 is, right? Toy Story 3 is Andy's 18, he's graduating, he's moving on to university or on to college. Like that's what. So if this is indeed Toy Story 3,
but the difference between
the
this
logic is.
the difference between this and Toy Story though is Toy Story wasn't about Andy. It was about, I mean, it was, but in the larger scale of things, it was about the toys. And the toys are objects that can then be transferred to a new character, which allows
Yeah.
the franchise to continue to go on, which is exactly what they did. Inside Out doesn't have that luxury. Inside Out is about the emotions in Riley's head. And once you get Riley to 18 or adulthood or whatever, her story's over. And they don't want that. They want to continue
I
this
don't
as long as they can.
I don't think so. Not with this one. This one, I think this one is probably again. One more. I think this franchise has one more in it. And
I could,
maybe
I
then
I
maybe
could
like you
believe
you
that,
said
but
you do the teenage stuff as like shorts like that. I can see
yeah, I could again, I could see them doing either or
like her
both.
dating, all that
Um,
stuff is all like you do it in 2-minute shorts on Disney Plus that nobody
but
watches,
I just
or a show like
I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to do 4 movies.
I would be very surprised if this is just not a 4 movie. I don't think it's a 4 movie franchise. Like people were
I
surprised to see a second one, let alone a third one, but they should absolutely make a third one.
the